On the news this morning, Governor Obiano urges communities to promote peaceful coexistence. Ndibo charged to promote Igbo cultural heritage. INEC to deploy 400,000 corps members for general election. On the foreign scene, police officer killed defusing bomb at church in Egypt. Good morning and thanks for joining us on the news. My name is Nonye Mokoye. Governor Willie Obiano has called on communities in the state to embrace peace. The governor, who made the call at the 23rd Ovala celebration of the traditional ruler of Aguleri, Igwe Christopher Idigo, commended him for his peaceful disposition that has enthroned peace in his community and neighboring communities. Government House correspondent Ejike Abana reports.
The event held at Amigwa Aguleri was attended by state executive members, top government functionaries, traditional rulers, among others. Governor Obiano, who said that unity is strength, pointed out that problems in Aguleri and neighboring communities have fizzled away due to his peace initiatives, and applauded the community for supporting his administration in promoting unity. On the forthcoming general election, Governor Obiano asked Ndi Aguleri to vote for APGA candidates as he strives to complete his good works in all facets of the state economy, and appreciated Igwe Idigo for bestowing a title on his wife, who remains the only woman cabinet member in Aguleri.
The national driver, who's so represented to 21. That's an okuku, who we are 12. One alarm balloon, General One, Colin, Corsi, Pachane, Pachane. That's an okuku, mainly. One of the area, one of the Bechon Bigonia, Metaphysician Cavalon.
The celebration is also the 119th Ovala Aguleri. Earlier in his Ovala message, the traditional ruler of Aguleri, Igwe Idigo, called for issue-based campaigns in the coming elections and decried the marginalization of Ndibo in the scheme of things in the country. He called on the federal government to show more commitment in executing the Enugu-Onitsha Expressway and the second Niger Bridge projects, as well as improve education funding, among other infrastructures in the region. The monarch condemned the crisis rocking different quarters of the country, urging the federal government to take drastic steps to address them. The theme for this year's Ovala is Akweluveguno, meaning that wealth has started to make their way home, in line with the Governor Obiano's Think Home philosophy. Various traditional music and dancing featured at the event. From Amigwa Aguleri in Anambra East Council area, Ejike Abana, ABS News.
It was a night of thrill and fun as people from all walks of life converged on Obu Enuguku on Naomunri in Njikoka local government area for the 61st Iguaro Eve of the community and the 8th Iguaro ceremony of Igwe Raf Ebe. It attracted the deputy governor, Dr. Nkem Okeke, who is an indigene of the town, the managing director and chief executive officer of the Anambra Broadcasting Service, Mr. Uche Nwora, Enuguku indigenous priests of various denominations, traditional councils, indigenes of the town, among others. Our correspondent Emmanuel Chibata reports.
The eve kick-started with praise and worship, prayers and supplications to God for Enugu town and our citizens. As the traditional Igba Eze and Nufie began to play, the traditional ruler Igwe Ebe emerged at the scene with a 21-gun salute to herald the 2019 Iguaro. Speaking at the event, Igwe Ebe blessed illustrious sons and daughters of the community and Ndibo at large, praying for peace and progress of the state and the country in general. He equally thanked God for a successful year and for the annual calendar he released to Ndibo.
ngozi ka anyị na ya n'ime ọjị ma nke ijiba nke anyị jiba nke dị ka hụrụ akwụ ọ gọzie nye oji ndụ n'ime ya oji ọganiru n'ime ya oji udo n'ime ya oji ịhụnanya n'ime ya oji ịdịkọta n'obi n'ime ya anyị tazi anya o wee zụọ arụ na mmụọ site na Jizọs Kraịst bụ onye nwe anyị.
In a speech, the cultural minister of the town, Mr. Jude Ekunife, pointed out that Igwaro is very significant to the people of Enugu and Igbo nation.
It's the culture, it's the tradition of this community that the Igwe, who makes, divine proclamations during the Igwaro, should get himself purified, sanctified in such a position that whatever he says, could come to pass through the, backing and the blessing of God.
On his part, the President General of the town, Mr. Boni Ozo Nkwaku, said the Igwaro Festival is part of efforts aimed at sustaining and keeping the rich cultural heritage of Ndigbo alive. Earlier in a sermon, an indigenous priest, Venerable Ike Ozibu, who spoke on the theme, Be Your Brother's Keeper, highlighted the importance of living in love with one another as exemplified by Jesus Christ.
Complete human system, then the entire members of that system must be functional. So etu anụmanụ isi nnọkọ bụ ndị Enugu ukwu enwere ofu onye ihe nọ na mkpa ọ kwesịrị ka anyị niile solu ofu onye nọ na mkpa mana anyị niile nọ na mkpa.
Also speaking, Venerable Gideon Uzomeshina of the Anglican Church of the Messiah, New Jersey, USA, who is also an indigene of the town, commended the people of Enugu for maintaining their tradition, calling on others to emulate them. A minute silence was observed during the event for the former President General of the town, Mr. Peter Nwokafo, who died in December last year. From Enugu in Njikoka local government area, Emmanuel Shibata, ABS News.
Message of hope and salvation dominated the readings of yesterday's services, which was the first Sunday of the year. Amaka Chibuzo Okoye filed the report taken from our studios.
After the celebration of the birth of Christ and New Year, Christians gathered to dedicate themselves anew and seek God's presence and guidance throughout the year, as yesterday was Epiphany Sunday. The Archdeacon, Ukpo Archdeaconry, and Vicar of St. Mary's Church, Ukpo, Venerable Geoffrey Orji, asked Christians to uphold their faith, follow the tenets of Christianity, and abide by the rules of Christ. Venerable Orji charged them to remain hopeful, as the mind of God is different from that of men and will do great things in their lives.
The Jews were preparing for the coming of Christ. Now the people who received Christ first, the announcement, and who saw Christ first, we are the Gentiles. And this is a pure reminder of what is in the Bible, that we Christians should buckle up and be Christians indeed, because the last shall be the first, and the first shall be the last.
At St. Simeon's Catholic Church, Ukpo, the parish vicar, Father George Anahalu, in his homily, encouraged Christians to follow Christ, who he said is the light that will outshine darkness and lead them to glory and salvation. Reverend Father Anahalu advised the parishioners to allow themselves to be led by the Holy Spirit throughout the year, engage more in the service of God, and share his gospel to all nooks and crannies for the salvation of souls.
Our prayers for the people of God is that we follow Christ, who is the light, and when we follow Christ, who is the light, he will lead us to where better things are, and then finally we will attain salvation.
It was a celebration of God's grace and blessings as family members, relations, friends, and well-wishers gathered at Mona Lisa home to rejoice with Odimegu family of Mbarabaka Ihiala as they celebrate the 80th birthday of their mother, Chief Mrs. Elizabeth Odimegu. Correspondent Paul Ezoke reports.
Mrs. Odimegwu is the mother of the Transition Committee Chairman, Ihiala Local Government Council, Barrister Ifeanyichukwu Odimegwu. The celebration commenced with a high mass officiated by the Archbishop of Onitsha Archdiocese, Most Reverend Valerian Okeke. Most Reverend Okeke, in his remarks, noted that 80 years of age is a manifestation of God's grace, urging Christians to always seek the face of God to enjoy His abundant blessings. In a sermon, Reverend Father Bonacristus Umogu said birthday celebration is an opportunity to appreciate God for the grace of life and good health. Reverend Father Umogu urged Christians to anchor their lives in God and remain strong in faith. Speaking at the event, one of the sons of the celebrant and the Transition Committee Chairman, Ihiala Local Government Council, Barrister Odimegwu, said he felt delighted and fulfilled that his mother is still very healthy and strong at the age of 80. He described his mother as a model woman whose virtues should be emulated by others. Speaking in a similar tone, another son of the celebrant, Professor Ike Odimegwu of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, said his mother is a strong disciplinarian who will not compromise anything for truth and has impacted positively on the lives of many.
God has given us on earth 70 years, and plenty for those who are strong. My mother has been counted by God among those He created strong.
A friend of the family and Vice-Chancellor Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, Professor Joseph Ahaneku, said 80 years of life calls for thanksgiving and celebration, praying God to give her many more years ahead. Responding, the celebrant, Chief Mrs. Odimegwu, thanked God for the grace of long life and charged people to hold firm to their faith in God to overcome challenges of life.
For 30 years. For 30 good years.
The occasion was attended by some traditional rulers, frontline politicians, members of the university community, and civil servants, among others, and featured cutting of cake and dance by the celebrant. From Ihiala, Paul Ezoke, ABS News.
We say happy celebration to the woman. They're very strong indeed. Moving on, the Independent National Electoral Commission will hire about 40% of its ad hoc workers for the February 16th and March 2 elections from members of the National Youth Service Corps. The National Commissioner and Chairman of its Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye, has stated between 300,000 and 400,000 corps members would be needed for the two elections out of 800,000 to 1 million workers to be deployed in different polling booths during the exercise. According to the INEC Commissioner, the expectation is that the corps members will serve as presiding officers in about 120,000 polling units and the estimated 30,000 voting points and settlements. He also stated that should there be any shortfall, the Commission would make use of students from federal tertiary institutions. And now on business news, Ghana's central bank has disclosed the revocation of the operating licenses of two more banks. Announcing the decision, Ernest Addison, Governor of Bank of Ghana, said the 2 years long banking sector cleanup had come to an end, leaving 23 universal banks out of an initial 35 assets. 35 assets of the two banks have therefore been awarded to the newly established Consolidated Bank of Ghana, CBG. This brings to 9 the number of banks which collapsed under the sector reforms which started in 2017, while assets of 2 of those banks were awarded to the Ghana. A policeman was killed while trying to dismantle an explosive device outside a Coptic church in Egypt on a security source said. 2 other officers were also wounded in the explosion as security personnel attempted to defuse the device in Nasser City on the edge of Cairo, the source added. It had been hidden inside a bag that was searched by police. The policeman who was killed, Mustafa Abeid, was a specialist in mine clearance. Coptic Christians, who account for around 10% of Egypt's population, have been targeted in a string of attacks by the Islamic State group in recent years. Security has been reinforced in the capital in recent weeks ahead of Christmas, which Egypt's minority Coptic Christians will celebrate on January 7. The country's leader since 2014, Sisi, often presents himself as a defender of Christians against extremists, but activists and some analysts accuse the state of discriminating against them and not providing enough protection. More than 100 Copts have been killed in jihadist attacks since December 2016. Now, sports news. Super Eagles captain John Mikel Obi is looking for a new club after leaving Chinese Super League side Tianjin Teda by mutual consent with a year left on his deal. The 31-year-old left Chelsea in January 2017, but injuries meant he made just 31 appearances for Tianjin. He is keeping his options open as he begins the search for a new challenge. The European Champions League winner is, however, keen to force his way back into the Nigerian team ahead of this year's Africa Cup of Nations. The midfielder has not played for his country since last summer's World Cup, leading to speculation about his international future. It is the first time since he began his professional career at Norwegian club Lyn Oslo in 2004 that Mikel finds himself without a club. And now remember that you can listen to news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by logging on to our website www.absradiotv.com. Like us at www.facebook.com/ABS Radio Television. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ABS Radio TV. Now, the main points of the news once again. Governor Obiano has urged communities to promote peaceful coexistence. The Igbo have been charged to promote Igbo cultural heritage. INEC is to deploy 400,000 core members for general elections. And on the foreign scene, we reported that police officer has been killed defusing bomb at a church in Egypt. And that's the news for this morning. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Nonye Mokoye. Good morning, Anambra continues. Join us.